Hello and welcome to UEFA Nations League semi-finals in Germany. We have on Wednesday Germany, Portugal, on Thursday Spain, France, and we have Ronan Murphy, Alain Valnegri. Hello, guys, to analyze with us these two great games, probably semi-finals only. Of course, the winners on Wednesday and Thursday play the final also in Germany. So, guys, which team do you think is going to play the final? Let me know in the comments. And now let's analyze all these games now. Well, guys, let's take a look at these great games we have after the Champions League final. First of all, if we check the outright market, we see Spain and Germany as big favorites to play the final. And if we analyze the first game on Wednesday, Germany-Portugal, we see Germany as big favorites. Ronan is only 1.9 to beat Portugal. Portugal is 4.5. Probably it's because in the quarterfinals, Germany were way better than Italy, and we saw Portugal struggling against their man. But probably if we go player by player, even Portugal could have a better squad than Germany.
Yeah, I think if Germany obviously have a few injuries at the moment, a few players are out, a few kind of senior names. So obviously they've got their goalkeeper back, Ter Stegen is back, and Hansi Flick of Barcelona has kind of said that he should be fit. So they're confident that they will have at least the goalkeeper coming back. He's only played twice, I think, since coming back from injury. So that's not the best sign, but you can rely on him because he is kind of experienced compared to the other goalkeepers. Although not as experienced as he would be if Manuel Neuer hadn't been around for the past decade. There's a couple of new call-ups in the Germany squad, Tom Bishop, 𝐿𝐴𝐿𝐴𝐷𝐼, and the second of those is because Tim Kleindienst, Germany's top scorer in the tournament in the Nations League so far, is injured, and they have injuries. Havertz, Musiala, Rudiger, Schlotterbeck are all injured. So Portugal, I think they have a fuller squad, or a deeper squad perhaps, and on paper maybe you might think they have a chance, but there's two big doubts that we always have over Portugal. One, the manager, Roberto Martinez. We're still kind of wondering, is he cut out for the job? We've seen it before at international level with Belgium, kind of wasted their golden generation. So is he the right man to continue leading Portugal? But he's still there regardless of what happens. And the other one being Cristiano Ronaldo. He's 40 now, obviously. He's calling time on Al Nassr, but he missed the last two games of the season. The Saudi reports claimed that he was rested due to physical exhaustion, which isn't a great sign heading into these international games for Portugal, but Martinez says that he's fit. So, as well as that, they've called up a nice young player, Porto's kind of attacking midfield star, Rodrigo Moura. He played left wing as well. He's got 10 goals this season playing for Porto, and he's a big talent in Portugal. He's seen as the next big thing. And Martinez, when he was talking about him, said, "I smile when I talk about him because he's a player who can mark an era in Portuguese soccer." So he's kind of looking forward to him. And he's only 18, born in May 2007. What else was happening in May 2007? Cristiano Ronaldo was winning Player of the Year, Players Player of the Year, Football Writers Player of the Year, and the Premier League with Man United. So he's kind of the new guy, and Ronaldo is still in the team. And you kind of wonder, will Portugal continue to start Ronaldo? Does Martinez have the cojones to drop Ronaldo and not continue with him there? And that kind of plays into Germany's hands, that if Ronaldo does play, it's kind of like a wasted position on the field. He's not going to press. It will allow Germany to play out from the back, and hopefully that will lead to an entertaining game with lots of goals. And we've seen before, Ronaldo against Portugal, I read a stat. It is shocking. Ronaldo has played against Germany 6 times. He's lost all 6 times he's played against Germany. And 5 of those had 3 or more goals. 2 of those have had 4 goals for Germany. So Germany score lots of goals when Ronaldo plays. So it doesn't really matter who their forwards are. They're trying to score lots of goals. So I like the look of the total goals market in this one. Over 2.5 goals is 191.
All right. Well, probably there is not much value on this Germany to win, as we were saying. Alain, you are not also convinced, right, about Portugal, about Bobby Martinez, and then indeed, with the news about Cristiano Ronaldo leaving Arabia, and we haven't seen a great 𝐿𝐴𝐿 or Bernardo Silva, for instance, in the last months of competitions.
Portugal is one of the biggest mystery about where is not possible to improve the team in a collective analysis, because for the individual squad, Portugal is top 3 in the world. Every role are accomplished with player playing in top team in Europe. Maybe not the goalkeeper, maybe, but the goalkeeper, in my opinion, is very good. He play and he don't do any mistake cost losing to the team. Sometimes I watch Portugal and I feel boring. And with that quality, especially the midfielder and the forward, is amazing. Is amazing, the individual quality. Now, I think there is something to the collective analysis. I don't know how is responsible the manager, because we saw few managers with this team, with this generation, and we don't saw an improvement in collective perspective. When we speak to collective perspective in Germany, we felt the end of Nagelsmann, because Nagelsmann, when he arrived, when he took the Mannschaft, the situation was bad. I don't remember a Germany without a center defender and a striker top 5 in the world. It's one of the worst generation to the quality in the key role in the field. And Neuer is old. Ter Stegen, yes, but he's getting old. The goalkeeper too. It can be empty. And in Germany, always when we close the eyes and we imagine the team in Germany in the World Cup in the last 50 years, always with a very good dominant player, striker, dominant center defender, dominant goalkeeper. And right now, Nagelsmann was able to build a collective, because in a collective perspective, I really enjoy Germany in the Euro Cup. And against Spain, the referee was critical, and it was normal because he do some mistake. And after Spain is the most competitive team, and Spain is the team who known how they win, how they suffer. But Germany, in the economy of the game, was not underplayed. And in my opinion, Germany is very favorite for this game. And I choose Germany winning, odds 1.90.
Well, indeed, Germany real favorite, also playing in front of their crowd. We also saw in the Euros, as you said, how Germany was taking the lead and playing great football, even against Spain. Probably you were referring at Cucurella's handball. But probably I just have some memories about it. But luckily, nothing happened, and Spain went through. But now it's a different story. Remember, also Portugal, Nations League winner, but leaving us some doubts. We are always thinking that they could do better with the greatest squad, no matter if it's Fernando Santos or Bobby Martinez, but they want to choose always kind of a defensive manager. And this is what they are getting. Sometimes okay results, but probably not at the standards of their quality players. And now even with huge doubts, I think, about the form of the key players, not Bruno Fernandes, but the ones that I mentioned before, like, of course, 𝐿𝐴𝐿, that hadn't performed well for Milan, or even Bernardo Silva also having a very difficult season with Man City. Well, this is the first semi-final to be played in Munich, always a stronghold of the Mannschaft. And then the next day we have Spain France. We also saw this game in the Euros, and France took the lead. Spain suffered, but at the end, they won, or we won, with Lamine Yamal scoring a screamer to equalize the game. And here also we have the doubt of France having probably one of the best squads of the continent, but with Didier Deschamps always playing defensive football, trying to not build any football, just playing or trying to be very defensive. And we saw it also at the Euros, and now this Spain is getting better and better, although we have two key players missing for this Nations League semifinals, like Rodri or 𝗵𝗏𝗏. Isco is back, is the big news of the Spanish national team. Alain and the bookies place Spain as favorite. Probably they are right to do so, since they've been very dominant recently in Europe, but the odds are really, really balanced. And for instance, we can see in France two of the top players at the moment in the continent, like Dembélé and Mbappé, and really, really informed, both of them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always the same with France, with Didier Deschamps. Until Didier Deschamps will be staying in this bench, the things can change if the vestry took the responsibility and said, okay, now we will be modify the model of play of our manager. And I think in Italy, in the last game, we saw that when they won in Milano in San Siro 3-1. We saw that against Croatia. And against Croatia, I saw a France with passion. And that one is not so common. Normally, it's a cold team. It's a team play with risk really, really low, try to sleep the game, and try to search the individual player, the one individual good play and 1-0, because we know the defense of France is really strength. Now, Spain is the team can move that block. But when you took lead in a semi-final, normally a team from France go to the final. And team Spain was with the passion, with the offensive football, with the joy that move France in that game. And it's a revenge. We know the rivalry, France and Spain, is eternal rival in every sport. And for this game, I think it's most important for France. If Spain lose that game, don't matter, because without Rodri, they won a lot in the last seasons. De La Fuente worked really well. Who search something strong and a positive message is France. And I am curious to watch the attitude of the player, because that will change a lot of things, and in my opinion, will be the key of this game. When I checked the odds, I was really surprised about in the goal market. The odds for the over 2.75, in my opinion, is really high, 2.45. And I see 3 goals in this game or more, and I choose this market over 2.75, odds 2.43.
Actually, it's a good question, Ronan. If the French players still want to play, still believe in Didier Deschamps after so many years. Even some months ago, October, November, we saw this dispute between Mbappé and Didier Deschamps being left out of the list, Mbappé. So I'm not sure if they believe anymore in the tactics and the way of playing with such a quality team.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to look back at the most recent few years. And obviously Deschamps in the past has proven that he's a winner, but in the last few years, I'm not sure he has proven he continues to be a winner. Like anything, managers have a certain kind of shelf life at football clubs and football international jobs, and he seems to be past his sell-by date. And we've seen it with loads of managers before in the past, that they kind of outstayed their welcome, and then the players kind of weren't performing as to the level that you expected, and then you were kind of blaming the manager, you were blaming the players, and they were kind of blaming each other. So I think it could be time for a clean slate with France, but that clean slate is not happening while Deschamps continues to want to stay in the job. But yeah, I think this could be another unfortunate match for him. Alain has said about this could be 3 goals in this one, and the last time they faced there was 3 goals in Spain, 1-2-1, like you were saying in the introduction. So it could be another one of those, because if you look at the France midfield that they've named and that Deschamps has named in the squad, it looks very light compared to some French midfields of the past. 𝗵𝗵𝗫𝗀 is obviously missing, and then in defence you've got 𝗵𝗵𝗫𝗀𝗀 and Saliba out, 𝗏𝐿𝐴 is out as well, so there's kind of notable absences in the French squad. And you also have to factor in the fact that a lot of these players are playing in the Champions League final. A lot of the big names at PSG are in the Champions League final, and that could play into Spain's hands. And Deschamps said as much when he was naming the squad. He said that they were worried would there be the level of motivation. One of the journalists asked him, would he need to be able to motivate the players, and he claimed, I don't need to motivate them. Spain are certainly the best team in Europe, and if not the best team in the world, but Barcelona aren't in the Champions League final, so Spain will probably be fresher, and I think that could help Spain, that they don't have their biggest players playing in the biggest match right before this game, and they could obviously be distracted as well after it. So yeah, Spain have Isco back, and that should be a huge boost for them. I think he can make an impact, and Spain, they're favourites to win this tournament for a reason. They've obviously won it before, but they've not lost in so long. Their last defeat was March 2024, friendly with Colombia, and every competitive match they've played in the last 2 years, they've won them all, or drawn or won them all, and undefeated in 18 games, including that one against France. And for France's last defeat, you only have to look back a few months. They lost against Croatia, so needed penalties to get into this match. So this France team, they are continuing to kind of be disappointed, to be frustrating. I know the players maybe could stage some sort of mutiny and put in an amazing performance, but how tired will some of those players be? And I think Spain can go and win this whole competition, and Spain winning this matches over 260. I think it looks pretty good, but you could just simply go Spain to qualify, because if this match goes to extra time, that tiredness could play into Spain's hands, and Spain qualify is 182. So I really like to look at that.
And Alain, you mentioned the over market. Actually, the bookies expect an under game. It pays more. Over 2.5 goals is 2.4. Under is only 1.67. And my 2 questions are, first, Spain debate under or around the number 9 with Morata playing in Turkey, and only 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏 delivering for Spain. This is true, but not for Real Sociedad this season. And second one is the post-Griezmann era in France, because Griezmann is over and is being crucial for Didier Deschamps.
Yes, first with Griezmann play out of his role, because France have missed a lot of creativity in the midfield. You have a lot of soldier, and you want to play with really physical, and but you don't want to create something. You don't want to build something. And I don't know what will be the future of France. They must change the mentality, because they have the player to offer a football make part of history of France. Because in the 80s, France lose two World Cup, and it was the team play one of the most offensive football in 82 and 86, and they won the Euro in 84. And with the time, the team and the mentality changed. In 98, it was not a really offensive team. In 2000, it was a dominant team, dominant in the momentum, the technical way, but it was not a football champagne. And they're conserved that, and they depend of a lot of Zidane that era. After that, they have a crisis, and now with Deschamps, they found something. But I think this team miss a lot the duo Pogba-Griezmann, because Pogba-Griezmann made the difference in the midfield, give the creativity the team needed. And in the last Euro, France, the game of France was really boring. sincerely accept the semi-final against Spain, but Spain give the life to this game. And after, in Spain have a big advantage. Spain have economy of his model of play, who you don't need a striker, because everybody can score, everybody arrive to the area, everybody learn and have a great domination about the small space, triangulation, 1 meter. In my opinion, I prefer Spain with Merino play the false 9, because he give that point of aggressivity need the team. Morata I like Morata, but Morata is not a bomber. Morata is not a striker with 25 goals. But Morata is really intelligent. To make play well, his team is really intelligent. 𝐬𝐵 is hybrid, is not a 9, is not, in my opinion, is offensive midfielder. But Merino have that aggressivity need the team. And Merino in the key game, he appear always. You don't need a lot of minutes. You don't need a lot of goal score, of goal chance. You have a pretty good aerial game. He is good with his head, and in my opinion, is the best option. But if we analyze every role in Spain, only the number 9. No, we don't have a player in the top 5 in the world in his role. But De La Fuente is so intelligent to build that one, to don't depend about the striker.
Actually, probably it's the opposite, Ronan. If we talk about the styles, we were mentioning how Martinez has not changed anything from Fernando Santos in Portugal. It's still a defensive team despite the stars. We are talking how Deschamps is not also evolving his team. And De La Fuente has changed completely everything from Luis Enrique and this boring tiki-taka to 2 wingers and direct play, much more vertical the way Spain is playing. Therefore, they are scoring more goals without a number 9, indeed.
Yeah, you saw it kind of in the Nations League, in the league phase of the Nations League. You saw how Spain were able to kind of get ahead quickly, get the ball to the talented young players that they have. Yamal obviously is a phenomenon by himself, but he's kind of playing into the Spain's strengths, and he's not kind of doing that kind of what we've seen from Spain in the past, where they were kind of passing, and sometimes it was passing for just for passing's sake, and instead we have a more verticality, quicker play, better counter-attacks, and that kind of feeds into the players that Spain have at the moment. And like Alain said, they're not kind of dependent on any particular number 9. It doesn't really matter who is their number 9, because they are not the player that is there to score the goals, because anybody in the team can score goals, and they can chip in with plenty of goals from midfield. And that's what we've even seen in the Premier League in the past season. Why Liverpool were able to make that kind of jump to be Premier League winners is because they were getting more goals from their midfielders, which they hadn't been doing before. They've kind of adapted themselves from 𝗀𝐿 Klopp to Arne Slot, and we're seeing something similar with Spain. The way they've adapted, that it isn't just necessarily the forwards are expected to score the goals and the defenders are expected to stop the goals. We're seeing that anybody can score the goals, and we had, I suppose, you had it the same with Bayer Leverkusen under Xabi Alonso, and you're probably hoping to see the same with Real Madrid under Xabi Alonso. Maybe we'll get a taste of it at the Club World Cup in a few weeks. We'll see how that goes. So yeah, I think football is kind of adapting, and football has adapted past what we've seen in the past. And De La Fuente obviously had that great kind of building block and was able to test it at a lower level with the Spain youth teams, but it's worked fantastically at Euro 2024, and there's no reason why it can't work fantastically in these Nations League semi-finals and maybe the final too.
Well, let's see which teams are going to the final. You kind of both agree, I think, to see Germany and Spain in the final, although Ronan is more certain than Alain Valnegri in going for the winning market, the 1x2. Well, guys, this is it for the Nations League Semi-finals, I think all the teams are taking really seriously this competition, although we said at the beginning that they were kind of friendly games, but the time has proven that these teams, they don't have many opportunities to show their best against top teams, and indeed, the managers especially, and even the players, take this game very seriously, so hopefully we see great games in this Final Four in Germany. Thanks, Ronan. Thanks, Alain. Thanks, everyone, for watching. And see you soon. Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.